norte, sur, norte, oriente, occidente. Vamos pa' Rusia, que allá está mi gente. No importa tu raza, tu credo, tu bandera. Existen mil colores y una sola tierra. Desde Asia hasta Oceanía. Todos viven en alegría. Europeos, africanos y latinoamericanos. No importa dónde vengan porque todos somos hermanos. De la mano del 10. De la mano del 10.
Amigos de
teleSUR throughout the world, welcome to show number 29 of De la Mano del Diez. How are you doing, Diego?
29 days. 29 days of joy for being next to you and also for speaking about football and speaking about a World Cup that really is difficult at the end, because when we started we were so strong, and now at the end, well, we're not doing that well, because we are already going to know who the winner is going to be, and this makes us sad.
Melancholy overcomes us, that uncertainty when we just came with all of those ideas that we have. Let's talk about England, because we're not going to talk about England, but we're going to talk about France.
I think that France is the real candidate to be the winner of the World Cup. I think that the Champs has finally been able to find the perfect midfield with Kanté, who provides a backup for every other player. He's a working ant running around all the field, and when he needs to be fast, he's also one with a lot of pace. However, Mbappé, well, I think that with him, the rest of the teammates asked him not to shoot on target, just pass the ball, because I haven't seen a single shot on target by him. However, France have a very, very good keeper, and their defense, whenever they attack, they score goals like Umtiti, and in the midfield, Pogba and Kanté. And then we have some very, very good players as Mbappé and Giroud. Giroud is like the type of player who doesn't seem brilliant on the pitch. However, he creates some space for the rest of the players, and not all the players can do this. The rest of the players try to cut in, and Giroud then often cuts and turns to one side or the other, and one opponent teams have to follow him all the time. So the one with the ball, with possession of the ball, either Pogba or Kanté or Mbappé, they need to run next to him. And then this is the point where France starts being the one with the pace and the good way of playing. And it's clearly seen on the French players. They have discipline. Here, well, you don't think about figures. You have this 19-year-old lad who could be playing in the under-20s. He's one of the best players of the World Cup. And next to this, I reckon that we have to acknowledge the Champs for his work, because France wasn't doing well before the World Cup. However, they've been able to find the perfect
And there's a very important
squad.
player called Griezmann, right?
I forgot to speak about Griezmann.
He is very intelligent with football.
Griezmann started playing with Simeone as a striker. He was a striker with Simeone, so he was brought to Atletico de Madrid to play as a striker. However, Simeone, Cholo, was so smart that he decided to play him as an attacking midfielder. So now he has both the possession of the ball and the possibility to score. So I think that this is really something that we need to analyze, because we often speak about the best player of the World Cup. And you must see the whole spectrum of player. Everything about a player within a pitch. Griezmann is fast. He isn't afraid of anyone. He's a good teammate. He isn't selfish. Even though he likes to score, he's not selfish. If he has the chance to pass it to someone who has the better opportunity to score, he will do so. He will just pass the ball. So I think that we have in front of us a team. I don't know if they already have winners, but still, they're close. They're close.
They beat Belgium, which is a very difficult team, and they beat them very well.
They were able to beat them in every single position.
They had marking on Hazard, which was perfectly well.
He played very well, very well. But this is what I told you, Victor Hugo. The semifinals are not the same thing as the quarterfinals. They're not the same thing. In the semifinal, you can maybe drag yourself around the field. However, in the semifinals, if you have a ball, you have to grab it and score. That's it. And this is what they were able to understand in the French team. However, the Belgians, even though they have a good way of playing, and they have some very good players as well as De Bruyne and Hazard and Lukaku, I think that they were tied down, and they decided to play just like France. They decided to do so in Belgium, and the way in which they played was the best for France, where they had to play long balls to Lukaku, and Lukaku wasn't able to win these long balls. However, they did not have any possibility to get into the opponent's goal. And we must acknowledge that Courtois is a very, very good keeper. However, you can score against him. You score past him. So even though I really like him as a keeper, still, France was better.
Let's go to commercial break. Diego, please invite our friends to commercial break.
Let's take a break. De la Mano del Diez.
Friends of teleSUR, we are now in the second part of our show. And there is something that we want to show Diego, but we are going to share it also with close to 70 TV channels in 200 countries. Cable Onda of Panama, Sport Arena today, we want to say our people, hello to people friend in Congo.
The Congo.
And Channel 29 Monclova in Mexico. We have a surprise for Diego. Hey, how are you doing, my friend?
Hey, how are you? How are you?
How are you doing?
My good friend. What are you doing?
I'm here. I'm grilling a little bit, putting a little bit of sausages, a little bit of little chicken for the friends.
Oh, that's great. That's great. How great would it be to bring the old friends? You'd have to grill 10 pounds.
Oh, forget about that.
Polvo, si yo te digo cebollita, ¿qué me decís?
If I call you cebollita, what would you say?
Oh, I remember many things, especially Francis. He called us cebollita because he was very, very big fan of Argentinos Juniors, and because we were all really small. That's why we started calling ourselves cebollitas.
The
first day it rained a lot, and you played in Parque Sarmiento.
We went to Saavedra Park, actually, and we did not train that day, because the next day we had to play a semifinal in a club in Ciudadela. I do not remember that name, but at that moment when we did not train, then we have Goyo, and Diego came with him. And he said, Francis, I have a lad that plays a lot better than me. And Francis could not believe it because Goyo played unbelievable well. And Francis said, listen, this is a tiny man, and he's not gonna play well. We, the starting team at that point, we were not aware that Diego was going to come. We did not know Diego. We went to the training room, and we saw this is our new friend, and Diego's going to play. And we looked at each other and said, okay, fine, he's going to play. There was 3 minutes, 4 minutes from the match, and we did not give the ball to Diego, because it's logical. A person that's so small, you would also take care of your own colleagues. And when they gave him the ball, he grabbed the ball, and he started passing the ball around, and he just dribbled past everybody. I cannot even remember how many goals he scored. It's just an anecdote that we have. But the fact that I saw the first match that Diego played with the Cebollitas.
This is 1969,
Yes,
1970.
from 69, perhaps 70.
I remember, because I was a journalist, I was just starting then, and there was a trip to Uruguay. Was that the first travel?
Yes, the first trip out of the country.
Most of you were there.
Of everybody, I think. Diego played a match because he scored like 9 goals, and they said, Francis, please don't play him the second match. You know what happens, Guille? One talks so naturally about Diego. Because we were friends of him and colleagues of him since we were very small. So we know who Diego is. And further than everything, we know for the moment that he lived with us. But for these people, you're talking about the best player of the best sport in the world. Something that's unachievable for anybody. What magnificent moments, Diego.
They will never come back, however. I would like to say hi to Pololita and Guillermo Lango, who back then was a journalist in El Gráfico. And Pólvora, I remember that I played with Pólvora. And I used to play next to him, and in front of the midfielder, he would follow me, and when he followed me, I would just run, and he would cut in, and then I would just pass it to him, and he would score immediately, because he was excellent hitting the balls. He was a great striker. We couldn't even cross the ball back then, but we would ask Polvara just to strike it, just because it was the easier way, because we were really tiny. Some of us grew, I didn't, however. I remember that the oldest one, Polvorita, and my father, they were very, very good friends. And we knew with Pólvora, oh, here it is, here it is. They're going out to drink some wine. So they would exchange some words, and they would just, speak. And they were together with Oscar from the buffet. So they had some wine and drank it, and they were watching us training. And then we had a tournament in the Falklands. It was 6 teams, and the winner would stay, and the final, well, you would earn a hot dog and a Coke. Well, not a Coke, because I'm not allowed to say this on TV, but some drink. But still, this is a memory that I really, really like. because we needed to take the bus for 2.5 hours and the train as well with my father. And Polvorita's father used to tell me, "Do you want to stay over tonight?" And I would say yes. Yes, but I really love my mom. I remember the first time that I left home and stayed over at Luis's end. And I was saying, come on, make the morning come, because I really, really couldn't live without my mom.
Do you want to see a little bit more?
I would love so.
Ustedes son muy proclives a hablar bien de Franci, pero una vez
You
no
really
le hicieron
like
caso
to
a Franci.
speak about Francis,
Si
but
tu memoria
there
te-
was one
te
time
hace
where you didn't
recordar
listen to him. Can you
una
remember
vez
this event?
que iban
There was
ganando
this
un
one
partido en el
time
primer
you were
tiempo
winning a
de
game on the
manera
first half
maravillosa,
and
y en
you
el
were winning
segundo tiempo no
wonderfully.
hicieron más goles.
However, in
La
the second
pelota
half
se
you
iba
didn't
de
score any
largo.
other goals.
Yes, it was in Camino Cintura, I remember, but it doesn't mean that we did not pay attention to him. It meant that Diego and Mono Rodriguez did not pay attention to him. Because Francis was a very venomous man. He was convinced. They said, if you can score 20 goals, don't score 20, score 21, because he was a natural winner. And we were winning 4-0 during the first half. And we would give the ball to Diego. Diego would start sprinting. He would reach the area. He would shoot the ball. And he'd put it above the line. And the same thing with Mono Rodriguez. He was a fantastic player. And Francis, from behind, he kept on saying, Diego! And he used to go like this because he was going to kill him, because he was missing the goal every time. And they had a bet in order to score as many goals as possible.
So that was it.
That was precisely what Cebollitas meant.
He was the one assisting you for your goals.
Absolutely.
According to Francis, you were the best teammate for Diego. What do you think about this? How did you both play?
You know what happens, Guille? Let me tell you what. The small boy started walking when he was 1 year and 2 months. If you do not learn how to play with Diego, then you have to be terrible. Absolutely terrible. I knew that I only had to run and sprint because I knew that Diego would give me a millimetric pass in front of me and I would shoot it correct, I would shoot the goal and I would score. Or I would go to the byline and center the ball. It was extremely easy to play with him. For me, it was too easy because I had a monster playing next to me.
Hoy, con algunos kilos de más,
Today,
harían lo mismo que
after
antes
gaining
dentro de las
some pounds,
posibilidades.
would you be doing the same
¿Soñás
things that you
algún día
did
con
before?
jugar?
Would you ever dream about playing with Diego again?
Do you know what my dream is? Not playing with him, because nowadays my head still responds, but my feet do no longer do. But yes, to be able to share a table with all of our friends, that would be ideal.
¿Qué le dirías?
What would you tell Diego?
Sale algo en el momento después
All of
de
a
saber,
sudden, if
pero
you see him,
ahora.
you will say something. What will you tell him today?
I will tell him to be as happy as I am right now, because life gave me many happy things. I was able to learn of a lot of things, and I was able to live. And plenty of the things that one were happy with because of him, because he is in our memory, in Maradona, in Los Cebollitas. If it wasn't for Maradona, we would just simply be another team. And that's why I would like to be able to go behind and have a meeting like the one that we dream about. And I hope, Diego, that you will be able to come and join us when you are in Argentina, and so that you can be able to ring us on the phone and say, lads, please get all of the steaks ready because I'm going over. Diego, we're waiting for you with this steak. You will not find this in Dubai.
Qué buen momento.
That was a fantastic moment.
Wow, that's great. What clear concepts Pólvora has. Daniel has very, very clear ideas. Polvorita, he was a lad who didn't have to speak to me. He didn't have to speak to me. I would just see the defender, and he would often, well, he was taller than him, than the fullback. So whenever I cut in or cut out, you start running because I will give you the ball. It will be just in front of you. So he spoke about this, remember? And he was there in the box and he would just score past any keeper. He would just kill them with shots.
These are magnificent memories, Diego. Do you know what this is that you have in front of you? Please open it up.
Oh, what is this?
For your grandchildren.
For my grandchildren, for Benjamin, and for Dieguito Jr. That's great, awesome.
It is the kit of the cebollitas.
Cebollitas.
We have Lampeniche who gave you this. He's a Mexican, and he adores you, and he said, what can I do for Diego? And I told him that
this is the best thing, the best idea that you could come with, without a doubt. Listen, I can tell you that every single year I have left in my life, I will try to share them with them and tell them my stories and tell them that until the moment I went wrong, until I took the wrong path. However, today, I am working. I am working just like any other person on earth. I am still Maradona, of course. My last name can never be stripped away from me. But every day I can get up, Victor Hugo. And I can fall asleep whenever I want, Victor Hugo. Whenever there's any problem, Diego is there. Diego couldn't be found before. So this is what I want to teach my grandchildren, Diego Fernando, Benjamin, Dieguito Jr. as well. The oldest one have already a life of their own. Dalma, Janina, Diego, Hannah. They already have their lives going on. However, what I want to keep, well, the apple of my eyes, both Diego Fernando and Babu.
Please tell him that you're going to take him that kit, and then we're going to a commercial break.
Of course. I'm going to bring you this. Take a look at this. Take a look at this. This is the smallest one for you. For Dieguito Fernando. And this one is for Babu. This one is for Babu. He's so funny. He tells me, Babu, no one can fool you. Because he often sees the plays. Remember in Boca, Pasarel tackled me, and then I was able to continue. That's his favorite play because he says, but how? How did you do that? Babu, he hit you. But listen, I tell him, I just wanted to get the ball and leave him behind and score.
And he has his eyes wide open.
Yeah, wide open.
Let's go on a commercial break, Diego, please.
Let's take another break de la Mano Del Diez.
San Spiga.
Tomorrow we will have a very important and special visit. We will not be able to tell you because perhaps some things may happen and you never know.
But still, he's a great goal scorer. Well, he was a great goal scorer.
In that case, with that visit, we're going to talk a little bit about immigration.
Of course.
The father of Zidane was one of the bricklayers that worked in the stadium where his son was the best of them all. Zidane comes from the Argelia. Thuram, who was elevated to a national hero because of the two fantastic goals, was born in the Caribbean in Guadeloupe. And from there, the parents of Thierry Henry came to France. Desailly came from Ghana. Vieira from Senegal. Karembeu from New Caledonia. Yorkaev is of Russian origin and Armenian as well. Trezeguet was raised in Argentina. He was an immigrant, almost every single one of those that were wearing the blue and that used to sing the French national anthem before every match. A survey in Le Figaro magazine revealed that half of the French people wanted to expel the immigrants. But there is a double discourse that is racist that allows to damn the rest and say good things about the heroes. The trophy was celebrated by a wide variety of people, only comparable to those that went to the streets half a century ago when German occupation finished.
Listen, I'm going to tell you a piece of data, Victor Hugo. Mbappé, well, his father is from Cameroon and his mother from Algeria. Pogba, his father from Guinea. Matuidi, both of his parents from Angola. Umtiti was born in Cameroon, directly, particularly in Cameroon. So they stole him from that country. Kanté, his parents are from Mali. And with all of this, with everything I'm saying, there are 19 players, 19 African players who today are playing the World Cup. And for them, this is a dream, as Drogba and Eto'o mentioned. This is something I always said as an example.
It's very interesting what Diego is saying, because only 4 players are strictly French. All the rest have parents that come from immigrant backgrounds.
With Africa, of course.
Yes, with Africa. Perhaps you can feel a protagonist. Hopefully they will get the chance, because they are so promising in their players.
Listen, but we're just starting. The first thing that I asked was to build football pitches for the Africans. Blatter had promised this after 1994, where they were already very strong as players, and they had some very, very good players. Nigeria weren't just tackling the players or hitting the rest of the opponents. They could also do this. Yes, they could do it. But still, we decreased our level of playing, but they did the same thing with us because they didn't have resources. They didn't have the compliance of the word of the biggest thief in the history of FIFA.
There are various thieves there in FIFA.
Yes, there are many, many thieves. But the greatest one had the biggest piece of the cake.
Can we close the show, please, Diego?
Let's do so. Let's do so, and we will meet back again tomorrow. De la Mano del Diez with Victor Hugo.